Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Pollard, Chief Operating Officer for TMASF Connects, and I'm joined with Jeff Lee, Program Director. Today, we're discussing job seeking, soft skills, and an outlook of the workforce post-pandemic with McCall Staffing. For the past 25 years, TMASF Connects, a privately funded nonprofit, has on occasion struggled with staffing dilemmas, as have many businesses. And during that time, we have managed to reduce potential employment disruptions by working with our trusted employment service, McCall Staffing. Their willingness to act as a partner and help us tailor solutions to our issues has not only gotten us through disruptions, but also helped spark the development of our career program. This is something that they may not even realize. But more about that later. But today, we have Mari Laughlin and Laura Halpin, both 25-year veterans of McCall Staffing. Mari and Laura, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So let's start talking about longevity, loyalty, and leveraging a professional history into the vibrant resources for today. So today, we're focusing on another crucial subject, the job-seeking paradox. What are the rules? However you describe the topic, you need to understand the rules or they will make and break you. So let's begin. So do you think there's any way of getting, that resume into the hands of somebody to read it? Or is it just, you just hope for the best?
Well, usually when you apply online, the instructions are there, but you're right. Often there is not a person's name. As Mari mentioned, it is one of the best reasons to be working with a staffing company, because the staffing company, McCall, has client employers who are turning to us and trusting us to identify candidates that they will want to hire. And so it's a very one-step process of us sending the resume saying, you really need to meet him. He is a standout candidate. And our client, just like you, who've been with us for such a long period of time, there's trust there and relationship there, and likely our client would want to interview that candidate.
You could, if you really want to work for a certain company, you could call and find out what service they work with. A lot of times the staffing service may have openings within that organization that you won't find at the career page. Very often they may need someone and they're doing their due diligence in that search, and it's going to take time. But in the meantime, they still need that work done. So they need a Band-Aid, if you will, to do the work while they're doing that search. And often they'll call a temporary service for that help. Now, very often they may not need they have the requirements, but they might not be as strict on all the requirements for the temporary person. But after that temporary person starts, they realize it's a good fit. They didn't have all the requirements, but they're doing an excellent job. So using a staffing service is an excellent backdoor into an organization.
Is there a best strategy for developing and sending a resume? Is there a specific number of pages we should adhere to? What should be included and what should be discarded? Should we keep our job and education history and only modify our objective for the specific position? Should we include our mailing address or photo or our hobbies or interests?
Yeah, so I definitely no picture, height, weight. I think the Europeans are used to the CV where they put all that personal information. None of that. In terms of an address, just the city, state, maybe your LinkedIn profile, and definitely have a phone number that has a professional outgoing message and a voicemail box that is not full. You don't realize that, but you've got to double check that. I don't recommend an objective on a resume because the objective tells them what you want, really what you want to do in the resumes, tell them what value you can bring them. And you can usually do that by doing a summary instead of an objective. And the summary should sort of answer the requirements that you find at the bottom of the job description. It'll usually start with 5 years experience or this type of degree or whatnot. So those should be the bullets in the summary. You're answering that you have the requirements that they need. So you would put over 5 years administrative experience in a nonprofit setting or something like that. That is so much more helpful than telling them that I want my objective. This is what I want. Number of pages. I have so many people when I talk to them, they say they have this experience and that, and I say, why isn't it on your resume? And they'll say because it would go over 1 page. And I think that if you are going to omit something that will not get you that interview, go into that 2 pages. Go ahead and break that rule. It's not even really a rule. Go ahead, go into 2 pages. If you have relevant skills and experience for that position, put it in there. Also formatting, no fancy columns, graphics, whatnot. A lot of these resumes go through a portal and they get inhaled into an applicant tracking system, and it gets mismatched. It's unreadable if you have a fancy columns and graphics. You want to keep it simple and readable for the hiring manager.
So as we look ahead, what advice do you have for our workforce, employers, and students?
I say, don't take rejection too hard. You will get rejected, and it's okay. I see people torture themselves. They relive the interview over and over again, saying, I should have done this, I should have done that. But you don't have any control over that. You don't know what happened. They could have hired from within. They could have hired a referral. It might not be anything to do with you. So don't torture yourself. Be kind to yourself. The more interviews you have, the less anxious you'll be for the next one, and the more prepared you'll be for the next one. So just be kind to yourself. It's okay.
That wraps it up for our conversation with McCall Staffing. And thank you once again, Mari Laughlin, Manager, Client and Employee Services, and Laura Halpin, Vice President, for taking the time to answer our questions. And thank you to Jeff for joining me today as well. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.